everyone, it's Holly Mariki, and we're back with Dice Irae, Amentes. If anyone wants to correct me if I'm saying that wrong, please let me know. But anyway, I have reconfigured my gaming list, and for those of you who have not been seeing this as much as you would like, it will be on my channel more often, because I wrote myself a list. So I guess I could explain it a little bit. So I have a non-gaming channel and a gaming channel. For those of you who aren't aware, usually I put it in the description below, which is called Herbology. That is where my Hunger Games and my books have gone. I know a lot of people haven't been watching the book one, but I know a lot of people are interested in the Hunger Games, so if you missed that, it's on my Herbology channel now instead of this channel. That's why the Hunger Games hasn't been here. Anyway, so my first episode of the week that I'll record is going to be one of my book episodes, then Hunger Games, then I'm going to do a Sims video, then this type of video, then a gaming and a non-gaming video, so which are two other ones and that have series as well. So I'm trying to get the ones that people like the most also recorded so that I have plenty, because you know I only upload once a week and I want to get as much stuff as I can out as possible. Hopefully in the near future I can rearrange it to where I can do more than a video a week, but for now that's all I can afford, time-wise and money-wise. Because I'm not a good editor. I don't know if you guys have seen my edited things, but anyway. There is that. Although, since this is a reading game one, I might do the editing myself on this one and let my editor do all the other ones that have a little bit more work put into it. So we'll see. Maybe this will be on a lot more often. Anyway, it's already been a couple minutes. You guys are already like, let's get to the video. So I just wanted to show you I rearranged my schedule so that way I can record more of it and hopefully get more of it out, since I've noticed I have been lacking on getting this out as much as possible. It's on my list, it just keeps getting put down further and further down the list, so I think it would be better if it was available more. Anyway, let's get started and hopefully we'll get through this and you guys will be enjoying it. Paradise Lost! Look, they have a Paradise Lost thing. Good. Anyway, let's get started. I jolted out of bed, only to find that it was already light outside. I immediately reached for my neck. It was, of course, still attached to the rest of my body. I forgot I had that weird dream. Just a dream, huh? I slumped down. Dream or not, that experience was no laughing matter. It was just in bad taste and above all else. Whoa, hey, what's wrong? Oh yeah, I forgot that she put a hole in the wall. I wasn't very happy about the fact that Kasumi, who snuck into my room like this on a daily basis, had just seen the whole thing. Are you okay? You were groaning in your sleep. I guess your wounds haven't completely healed just yet. That's not it. I wouldn't have been released from the hospital if I hadn't made a full recovery, so this dream had nothing to do with my injuries. It was nice that Kasumi was so worried about me, but if I didn't make things clear now, she'd end up driving us both to ruin. I'm a delicate guy, you know. I just had a rough night because of this new pillow. Also, I was groaning in my sleep because of some pervert was staring at me at my face while I slept. You mean me? You see anyone else around here? Wow, talk about ungrateful. Fine then, no more meals for me. Kasumi gave me an exaggerated glance, shaking the kitchen knife she had brought from her room back and forth. No wonder I had had nightmares. Who wouldn't if there was a crazy person holding a knife staring at them while they were asleep? At least that was what I tried to tell myself. Jesus, put that thing away. You're gonna poke an eye out. Please stop waving it around in front of me. It's your fault for not having one in your own room. Sheesh, you know you'd be living off of packaged food if it weren't for me. Can't you be grateful for what I do for you and let me enjoy a few benefits on the side every now and then? I love her face. Benefits? Well, what's she going on about? I mean, getting to watch your face while you sleep. It's so cute. Though, that gets ruined when you wake up and start whining about it. I began to seriously consider wrapping her in a blanket and throwing her out the window. I began to seriously consider embracing her and stealing a kiss. Read your mind, didn't I? Yeah, keep dreaming. Anyway, you can use the kitchen whenever you want to make breakfast, so go get to it. Okay, boy, you sure are domineering, huh? Kasumi headed off into the kitchen, still waving that damn knife around. I really needed to look into closing up that hole in the wall. That said, her morning antics had done a good job of helping me forget about the horrible dream. I was grateful for that, at least. Scene change, not really. It was currently 7:20 a.m. Kasumi and I sat at the table about to get started on the rice, grilled fish, and miso soup that she had made. Truly a Japanese breakfast, if I had ever seen one. It was about 30 minutes from our apartment complex to the school, so right now we could afford to spend 10 minutes eating, 10 minutes cleaning up, and 10 minutes getting ready. Merwolf's bag from Dr. Merzrat. Sorry, what? Shit. Kasumi took a sip of tea, washing down the rice that had been stuck in her mouth. Had anyone ever taught this girl the first thing about manners? Your uniform's back from the cleaners, right? Yeah. If memory served, it had been covered in blood and dust in addition to being ripped off all over. Our uniforms were made from white cloth, so it would have been hard to miss. They did a good job cleaning that thing up, and here I thought I should buy a new one. Yeah, though I ordered another one because I thought you'd say that. They said it'd take a little time to get here, though. So use this until the new one arrives. It's far from perfect. Oh, no. Why do I always yawn when I'm reading? But it'll get the job done, so put up with it for a while, okay? Kasumi placed a folded uniform that had been lying next to her into my lap. I opened it up to find that it had been patched together here and there. What's with that look? Nothing. It's just that, were you the one who fixed this up? Yeah, so? Got a problem with it? No, not really, but... While Kasumi's cooking was more or less edible, her sewing skills left a lot to be desired. Anyway, thanks. Seeing how it's winter, maybe I can just wear a coat over it all day. You mean during classes too? Isn't that against school regulations? Don't be such a stickler. I'm still fresh out of the hospital here, says the guy who was asking me not to treat him as an invalid yesterday. Kasumi shot me a glare, then proceeded to begin chowing down on the single teriyaki on her plate. It's spicy! Well, of course it was. Hold on. I thought we were supposed to eat that together. Why are you trying to eat the whole thing by yourself? Oh, shut up. There's no way in hell you're getting any of this. It's from my mom, so I'm not sharing it with anyone. We clear? Yes, sir. That's what I thought. And so she began nibbling on her teriyaki without even using rice to soften its taste. So spicy. She looked like she was about to burst into tears. You sure your head's screwed on right? Mind your own business, dummy. She turned her whole body away from me into her chair. She apparently had no further intention of speaking with me. Not that I really gave a shit. It would have been nice if she could stop mumbling stuff like so spicy, but so good, while acting like that, though. It was kind of creeping me out. Since Kasumi had retreated into her own little world, I found myself without anything to do while we ate breakfast. I decided to check out what was on the news, which had been playing in the background this whole time. Unfortunately, there wasn't much that caught in my interest, mostly just the usual about the weather and whatnot. And for an average citizen like myself, even the sensational news about corrupt politicians and celebrities caught having affairs wasn't really that exciting or relevant. Yes, can I help you? Get your butt here, you silly cat. Was that better? Hmm? Since there was nothing interesting on TV today, I decided to see if Kasumi had decided to stop acting like a child yet. But right when I was about to shift my focus back toward her, Eden died. Huh? Well, hold the phone. What'd they just say? A male homicide victim was discovered in Suwahara City Park. Late last night, the police are investigating this as a murder case. Wait, had there really been a homicide in Suwahara? Presently, the prevailing theory is that this was the work of some sort of slasher, judging from the fact that it was an abnormal crime involving the severing of the victim's head. While the murder weapon was yet to be determined, it seems most likely that it was a sharp blade, possibly a katana, or a similar sword of over 60 centimeters in length. Furthermore, the victim has been identified as 24-year-old Kenji Ikuna, an office worker in Suwahara City. The cause of death was decapitation. I stared transfixed at the news report as it elaborated on the details, but the sound of a plate shattering shook me out of my trance. Kazuma must have dropped it. One could hardly blame her for being surprised. Here we were eating breakfast as usual, and all of a sudden the news started going on about the gruesome details of a homicide. Suwahara City Park, the site of the murder, was a place most residents were very familiar with as well. So Kasumi's reaction was very normal. The details of the incident, however, were far from normal. They said that the cause of death was decapitation, so in other words, his head was cut off. If there were no other wounds on the body, then the act must have been carried out swiftly. I'm so sorry. Maybe the culprit got the guy as they were walking by each other, or snuck up on him from behind, or they could have knocked the victim out first. I couldn't be sure of the exact details. But if the murder weapon was a sharp blade, like the newscaster had said, it seems safe to say that the victim had been beheaded in one clean strike. You'd need high superhuman strength in order to pull something like that off. The culprit would have to be some sort of giant bodybuilder, and a guy like that walking around with a katana or something would definitely attract attention. Yet according to the newscaster, there were no reports of anyone suspicious in the area at around the time of the murder. So what? Had they set up a piano wire trap in advance or something? My hand shot to my neck. Here I was trying to come up with some realistic scenario to explain the murder. More accurately, I was trying to come up with an explanation that didn't involve that. I was trying to avoid thinking about the implement that one couldn't help but associate with beheading. Oof. I had seen it myself at the museum. Hell, I had even had a dream involving it the night before. The guillotine that had stood so imposingly amid the execution grounds in my dream. I could still remember it severing my head in vivid detail. I had woken up to find that someone really had been decapitated. Was this just a coincidence? Just something I could laugh off as not concerning me? After all, I had seen the same girl in both real life and my dream. It was already apparent that the boundary between the two was thinner than we thought. Who could prove that what happened in a dream couldn't also occur in reality? In other words, my dream had been... Ren? Let's get going. We're gonna be late. Kasumi was right. It wasn't healthy to keep going down this unrealistic line of thought. Got it. I'm gonna get changed now, so head back to your room. Aha! You've got nothing to be embarrassed about, you know. Shut up. More importantly, yeah, I know. Use the door this time. Right. It's a pain. So no thanks. Anyway, let's clean up the plates first. Even our typical morning routine felt somehow strained. Come on, quit standing around. Get a move on. Chop chop. But unlike me, Kasumi wasn't the type to keep moping around forever. It was business as usual as she stood in front of the apartment, harassing me. Sheesh, why does it take you longer to get ready than me? You're a guy. Oh wait, could it be that you were busy putting on your makeup? You want a slap across the face? Did no one ever tell her that it was rude to make fun of other people's appearances? You might want to try and be a bit more fashion conscious yourself for a change. You're always covered in sweat and swinging that bamboo sword around, so it's the girls who end up crushing on you instead of the guy. You looking for a fight? Yeah, whatever. Act like you weren't the one who started it. What's your problem? I think you once told me that you were okay with all that. Keyword, think. I sure as hell never said that. Besides, when it comes to popularity with girls, you're actually completely indifferent to it. Especially when it comes to you. What the hell is wrong with this thing? Just about the opposite of cute. Good, I never wanted to be. Also, what's up with the this thing? What am I, an object? Why, yes, you stone-hearted jerk. Brain cells were going to start dying if I continued this conversation. I didn't feel like being late for school the day after I got back from being in the hospital, so I urged Kasumi along. Come on, let's go. Okay, wait, you really are wearing your coat? It's not all that cold yet, you know. They said it was gonna get colder later on today, right? Did they? They did, but I thought better of bringing up the news again. I get cold real easily anyway, and I'd rather people not see the patchwork mess I was wearing. I kept that last bit to myself. We walked for a bit until we hit a crossroads. Just this junction was in the heart of the city, so you could say that all of the roads converged here and then split off again. The city was split neatly into blocks by the main streets crossing here, with the church and hospital on the side facing the mountains, and the park elevator. As long as you started from here, it was impossible to get lost. I figured one might expect this sort of thing from a city known as a tourist destination like Suwahara. No one would bother visiting if it was impossible to make your way around. Of course, last night there had been a murder in the park on the seafront side of the Suwahara, favored by tourists, but not exactly the sort of thing that's good for business. The police were probably already on the move looking for the killer. It would be best not to walk around at night for the next few weeks, in more ways than one. Ren! Kasumi suddenly called out to me. You're going the wrong way. Sorry, what? That's where, you know. Right, of course. Sorry. The fastest way to reach school was to cut through the park, so I had instinctively started walking in that direction. Thank God Kasumi had got me. I had no intention of approaching a murder scene of my own volition. It's been so long that I'm not sure I remember the way. It'd be a lifesaver if you could just grab my hand and pull me along with you. Hey, you know, I'm seriously gonna leave you behind if you keep up with those lame jokes. Sheesh. No luck. I tried playing it off to lighten the mood, but all I managed to do was piss her off. I think she thought it was funny. In the end, though, Kasumi made sure I was following her the whole way to the school. I decided I should express my gratitude by offering her some important advice. Go in the classroom first. Huh? Look, I'll be fine now. It's okay. Just go on in. Come on. Huh? What are you talking about? Well, you aren't the sharpest tool out there, so maybe you don't get it. Maybe I can really complain about Kasumi being so open, but at times I wish she was a little more perceptive. It didn't even occur to her on the way here. Sometimes I just wasn't sure about this girl. Everyone's gonna look at you funny if you go in there with me. Why? Why do you think? I was already enough of an outcast to begin with, and now here I was, coming back to school after spending 2 months in the hospital because I had gotten in a huge fight with a classmate. It wasn't hard to predict what sort of response I would get. I mean, that they'd start spreading all kinds of rumors if they saw you on such good terms with me, so you shouldn't give them fuel for that fire. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Kasumi was the sort of person with a strong sense of justice, a rarity in this day and age. That's the sort of thing that really pisses me off. Come on, we're going in together. She grabbed my arm and started dragging me with her. In we go! She might have managed to make a nice entrance, emphatically swinging the door open and all, but things didn't go so well after that. Ah! What's with all the stairs? About 30% of it is people being put off by that explosive entrance of yours. The other 70% went without saying. Unfortunately for Kasumi, the world didn't care if one was in the right or not. My first day at school in 2 months was off to a stellar start, as I had expected. I didn't exactly blend into the classroom. I caught my classmates casting sideward glances at me more than a few times. Kasumi didn't know when to quit, so she kept trying to get me involved with things, but I would rather she had just left me alone. It wasn't like I was getting off on the idea of being some aloof loner or whatever, but I wanted to take things easy for the time being, a form of rehab in a sense. It was only natural for people to be worried around someone who had been involved in a violent accident, so I couldn't get angry at my peers. In fact, if they had started acting all friendly instead, it would feel more like they were afraid of me in some way, and that wouldn't really sit well with me. I had never had any friends except for Kasumi, Shiru, and Himuro in the first place. Nothing wrong with things staying the way they were. So Kasumi didn't need to keep up these futile efforts. Just hurry up and go eat. Like I said, I'm going with you. I have the honor of being invited to lunch by my childhood friend, who just so happened to be a bit of a celebrity around school. And why exactly should I have to hang out with a bunch of girls I've never even spoken with before? To clear up any misunderstandings. Just stop. This is stupid. A group of girls, hell if I can remember any of their names, stood behind Kasumi, gazing at me suspiciously. Aren't they your friends? If so, you shouldn't be pestering them. Why not? You're my friend too. I'm glad to hear you say that, but was she trying to argue that a friend of a friend was a friend too, or something? Come on. Anyway, making a good initial impression is the important part. Take this chance to clear up the negative image people have of you, and start making your daily life into something meaningful. Blah, blah, blah. She just started going on with this stuff, like she was trying out of some sort of after-school special. No, thank you. Hey, Ren, you listening? Okay, I was seriously getting fed up here. Let's just run away. I'm just gonna run. You there! Not so fast! Kasumi grabbed my shoulders the moment I began rising from my seat. You weren't planning on running off, were you? Who knows? Hell yes, I was. Anyway, let go of me. No! You're just gonna run off somewhere if I do, right? Ye of little faith. Of course I am. Your eyes just scream bullshit. You really need to start looking at people in a better light. Don't worry, this is exactly the right light to view you in. So just come on and take a nice long seat, okay? She pushed down on my shoulders, a radiant smile plastered across her face. Having spent much of the prime of her youth waving a sword around, Kasumi was stronger than your average guy. I couldn't help but feel sorry for her. As a girl, her life was heading up in shit creek without a paddle. What's with that look? You're thinking something totally rude, aren't you? You've got one hell of a persecution complex there. I suddenly loosened my muscles. Huh? What? Ah! Since she had been putting her entire body weight against my shoulders, Kasumi tumbled onto the floor. I had made sure she didn't hurt herself too badly, but she was in no position to block my escape now. Hey, get back here! Sorry, I'll hang out with you next time, okay? I slipped past her and offered some parting remarks. As I entered the hallway, I cast a glance to the side, only to find Kasumi's friends still staring at me. They didn't need to conspicuously avert their eyes as soon as they noticed I was looking at them. Jeez. See? It was just as I said. People's preconceived notions don't go away that easily. And honestly, people weren't exactly mistaken in their perception of me. So trying to clear things up, or whatever was a ridiculous idea to begin with. There was no need to expend a bunch of effort, only to end up making things awkward for everyone involved. Like I was trying to tell her earlier, I did try to be considered in my own way. Right, as I was reflecting on that. My phone suddenly beeped. This was not a common occurrence. At first, I wondered who the hell would be texting me, but it wasn't like there were very many people who had my number in the first place. I glanced at the display and sighed. Seems I had found an excellent excuse to get the hell out of Dodge. Congratulations on getting out of the hospital. School was lonely without you. And that is where I'm going to end it today. That is what I'm going to end for this episode. So there will be another episode soon, I hope. But yeah, if you like this content, please leave a like. If you want more, please subscribe. If you think you know someone who would like this content, don't be afraid to share it. It helps. And also, if you didn't like it, well, we don't have to be friends, so we'll forget we know each other. Okay? Okay. But yeah, anyway, hopefully I will see you guys next time. Bye!